What's going on, everybody? What's good? I got a guest with me in the house tonight. You see her back here? You see her back here? I got a guest with me in the house. Hold on, I got a delay. I got to make sure that the volume don't mess up the echo here. What's good? What's good? $100 Jasmine in the house.
You gotta tell them that's
$100 coffee cup.
For those that don't know.
Hey, so who who remembers the $100 coffee cup?
And the one person that said, "Give me 500."
Shout out to the one she said that give her 500. We were doing a live session one night and on class, and I was like, Jasmine, bring me some coffee. And somebody commented to pay her for it. And the only thing I had was $100 bill. And we was about to go on vacation. So I already gave her, back then I used to give her $100 for vacation anyway. And so I was like, yeah, I'm about to give her $100. I'm gonna tell everybody on YouTube I paid you $100 for coffee, but really I'm just giving you your $100 for vacation. And then somebody said, pay her $500 for coffee. I said, oh man, y'all killing me out here. So what's good? How's everybody doing? I haven't gone live in a little while. Actually, I think this is the first live since the launch announcement, since we launched TGP. So yeah, this is it. We're about to get it in tonight. We got some really cool questions that came through. If you still want your questions posted, you can post them in the live chat, but you can also go on like the community post and post there. But I would just, at this point, I'd rather you just stay right here and just post it in the live chat. So if you have any questions that you want to talk about tonight, yeah, let's talk about it in the live chat. And I'm gonna have my moderator with me. She's gonna read off the questions. Let me move the microphone. She's gonna read off the questions, and we're gonna go over them together. So that's it. So who's ready? Let me get a couple more ones if you're ready. I got another person down. Well, not a person. Abishai, come here. Let's see if he listens.
Come on,
What's he chewing on?
Nice toy.
Come here.
Drop it.
Have y'all met this mutt yet? Come here. What this do? Look at this boy.
Hey, bud. He's
Look at this boy.
Look at those.
Remember last time you guys seen him? He wasn't this big, was he? Abishai, what's that? Abishai, what's that over there?
Look over there.
Look at that big boy. Look at that big boy.
You show him the paw.
You want to see his paw?
Massive. It's like.
Come here, look at that paw. Look at that paw. Look at that paw. That's right. Be nice. Oh yeah, boy. He's a good boy. All right, get out of here.
Come.
Oh, now he wants to sit and hang out. All right, but you got to move now. Get up out of here. Yeah, he's a big boy, man. About 110 pounds, maybe 115, and he's 9 months old. 9-month-old Cane Corso, and he's a big boy, man. Big boy.
Believe it.
All right, so let's see. Let me just take a real quick look who's on here. Yeah, he got a nice coat. He's on that raw diet. He's on the raw diet, and that's what keeps his coat real nice, and he gets brushed a lot. Guess it must be the life, you know. You get to sit here, they feed you good, pet you real nice, rub you down, and then send you to bed. And all you do is lay there and just snore. Man, it must be nice. So, yeah, let's just take a quick look. Let me see who's on here. I want to give a shout out to any of our channel club people, any of my TGP folks. Oh, we got quite a few TGP people on here. Yes, sir. A lot of TGP people. I see Troyce, Jeanette. I see, let's see who else. Dan the Beast. Yeah. I see Troyce. I don't know if I said that right. Jeanette. I said that already probably. Y'all commenting a lot of ones. I see your name over and over again. Blondell. Yep. Terry. Let's see. Let's see. Jason was good. Christopher was good. I got my channel club members here as well. Let me shout out TJ Austell. Hey man, I say this all the time about TJ, man, but I gotta give a real nice shout out to TJ, man, because he been rocking with me since like I think I had like 60 subscribers, you know, and now I got like 60,000. And TJ's been rocking since like before I even had you know, even a few subscribers, man. So definitely shout out to TJ, man. I appreciate you, my bro. Yeah, Dan, he's eating like a beast, bro. Yeah, he's eating like a king and a beast. RM said watched all videos last year, still learning the trade. Let's go. Let's get it. Yeah. Blondell, I got your question. I see that. We're gonna get to that. Yeah, cool. So we're gonna jump right into it, man. I'm just gonna try to answer some questions tonight. And hey, Jermaine was good. We're gonna try to answer some questions tonight. And you know, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat and let's get to them. I'm gonna use Zoom to share my screen and we'll jump into it from there. So Jasmine is gonna moderate. She's gonna read off some questions. Let's read. What's the first question? While she's reading, hold on. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, if you are watching just because maybe it popped up in your feed, man, go ahead and smash that subscribe button real quick. Go ahead and hit the little bell so you get notified. And I'm telling you, we got amazing Forex trading content on this channel. Entertainment, nah, it's education over entertainment. That's what we do around here. No messing around. It's all about that education. So I'm gonna really get you right and make sure that you know how to trade. So first question, let's get it. Read aloud so they can hear you.
I think it's Blondell Hayward. When is a good time, or what are you looking for in a breakout trade? And what are you looking for to retest trade?
So Blondell, shout out to you. And your question is, what are we looking for in a breakout trade? And then what are we looking for in a retest trade? So that's a really good question. So I'm going to share my screen. And let's just jump into it right away. So let me close the doc. All right, so Blondell, that's a good question. So when I'm looking for a breakout, so let's just use this GBP trade from last night. So I sent this trade out to the team last night. This is just a one line. The team got it with more detail and actual notes and stuff. You know, I just right now for YouTube and for the sake of this training, for a clean chart, I'm just got a line on there to show you where the entry was. And so we got that nice, beautiful entry on the breakout here, order retest, and this is a good example to be able to show you and answer your question. So first things first, let me grab my annotation tools, bring them over here so I can see them. All right. So first things first, this right here is where we saw the entry. All right. So a breakout and a retest really depends on what kind of a trader you are, first of all. If you're a scalper, you're looking for quick retests or quick breakouts. If you're if you're a day trader or a swing trader, you are really looking for more structural retests. So what do I mean by that? Let me show you. So first things first, if you are a hang on, I got somebody over here saying something. Yeah, if we get the scammers in here, we're gonna have to kick them out. So listen, if you are looking for a scalp, or if you're looking for quick access to the markets, then what a breakout trade does is it allows you to enter in really quick. You're not really worried about drawdown. You're not really worried about that, because you know, if you're a breakout trader, you're generally just trying to get in and get your position. So in this particular case, if you were a breakout trader, you would have been looking at the candle. So this trend line, you see that trend line here, you would have been looking at the candle that closed above. Now, the mistake that I see a lot of people making is that they think a breakout is when price crosses over. No, because how many times have you seen price cross over and then end up closing below, right? And so, and then it closes below, so it's not a true breakout. So we call that a fake out, or it's really what happens is that wick is just creating room for a possible break, right? And so it's showing you that next level of structure beforehand. And that's another lesson for another time, but wicks are very powerful. What I want to tell you though is don't be mistaken by something that just starts going past the line, right? What you want to do is you want to see a candle. You see that candle right there? You're looking for a candle to close above that, whatever your entry, whatever that is, right? So if you have a trend line, for an example, like this, and you're looking at a trend line like this right here, and you're looking for a break of that trend line, what you're looking for is the first candle to close above the trend line. All right. So when we see that, let me make that a little bit bigger so you can see. We can make it smaller in a minute so we can see the whole trade, but just for the sake of the entry, this candle right here was your entry candle, right? That right there showed you a breakout. So as soon as that candle closes, I enter the market, right? If you're a breakout trader, you enter as soon as that candle closes. As soon as that closes, new candles open, you enter, and now you are in the trade. That's your breakout entry, okay? Now, if you're a retest trader, what you're looking for is confirmation. You're looking for the breakout to happen and then a retest to occur and kind of confirm that price is going to stay above that line. If you're a retest trader, what you're saying is I'm more patient. I don't want to deal with any drawdown. I don't really want to wait. You know, once I get in, I want price to be moving in my direction. So the breakout trader would enter here. Price kind of moved up, price moved down, played around, and then once you saw here, once you saw that candle close back above, right? So you see what I'm saying? Like it pushed up, it came down. You see that candle right there. And when you saw that candle came down and retested that trend line and then closed even higher, it closed as a bullish candle. That right there was your retest, and now your entry was here. So as soon as you saw that wick touch that line and then price push away and that candle closed, there was your entry right there. Now, in this particular case, it actually gave you another little retest. It gave you another wick off of that on your volume candle, which ended up going. But, you know, sometimes that happens. What you're looking for on the retest is for price to come back to that line and then show direction in the direction that you're looking to enter the trade. So had this candle, let's say this candle would have came and retested this, but then it would have closed yellow, right? It would have closed as a bearish candle. Now, technically, that is still a retest, but price is not yet done testing. It's still in the retest. When you have a retest, you want to confirm that price is back in the direction of what you're trying to go. So in this case, we're looking for a bullish or a buy breakout. So here's your breakout. There's your retest. When you see that candle close, that's your retest entry. Here's your entry on this big candle. Boom. Really, really nice. So let me show you real quick without the markings so you can see it real nice. This would have been right here just to show you with the long tool. Breakout, right? You can see right here, breakout would have been right here. Your stop loss. Now, if you're a scalper, you could have put it behind your entry candle and you could have go like 1.5, you know, or 2 times your entry candle. That really depends on what your trade strategy is. And that's not really this question. I like to do 1.5% or 1.5 times my entry candle. So if I see that entry candle is 10 pips, I'm going to use a 15 pip stop loss. If that entry candle is 20 pips, I'm going to use a 30 pip stop loss, 1.5 times my entry candle. Now, that's your breakout. And then you would look left for, and again, this is talking about scalping. You would look left back to the structure, and that would be your target. In this case, you were 1 to 1.76 risk reward on a scalp, easy money, really good. If you were a retest trader, your entry would have been just a little bit higher. You would have missed out just a little bit on maybe just a couple of pips. And you're again going back to your entry candle, 1.5 times your entry candle, and same back to structure. You were actually a little bit better because your stop was a little tighter. So you were a 2.05 risk to reward. Now, here's the cool thing about it. We don't just, take that and get out of the trade. We're gonna close a massive position right here. If you're in at a $1 lot size, let's say, you're gonna close it down right here to 50 cents. And then you're gonna let it run at that other 50 cents. You can let it run to the daily high. You see that line on my chart right there? That's the previous session high or the daily high. You can go there. You really just want to look left and find structure. And when you see that structure, that's where you want to go. So in this case, the daily high right there was a really nice place for structure. And so now you can see, wow, look at how that runner would have been, right? So we caught this last night. In TGP, we caught this last night. I called this trade out to the team, and we ate real good off of this. So that's how you would differentiate between a breakout or a retest. Breakout is a close above or close below the entry in the zone. And then a retest is when it comes back and then closes in the positive direction. All right. So I hope that makes sense. If not, comment below and I will come back and get with you. Next question. Who is it?
It is TJ Austell.
Hey, TJ Austell, what's good? What's the question?
When recording teases, what is all the information that I need to make sure
When recording the trades. Okay, grab my trading journal right there. Grab my trading journal right there. She's all bundled up in blankets and stuff. Right here on the arm of the chair. Yep. All right, so this is what we got to do. So when you're recording a trade, right? When you're recording a trade, that's what you want. You want to be able to record your currency pair. You want to record your trade type. So is it a buy or a sell? Here, let me come off of here real quick. Is it a buy or a sell? Your entry price, your stop loss. Now, I don't personally use a take profit, but if you use take profits, then you should record your take profit. I personally do not use a take profit. I use a trailing stop, and then I manually close my trades as I need to. So that's up to you. The next thing is you need to record how much profit, your net profit. Did you make or lose money on the trade? And you need to be able to record that. Okay. Of course, the date of the trade, so you can go back and find it on your chart. And then what I do is I take at least 2 lines of notes for every trade. So when you look here, you can see I got lines for every trade, right? And you can't read my chicken scratch, but I have lines of notes for every trade. And so what I do is I show what happened. Did I eat a little bit of drawdown first? before going into profit? Did I what if I lost the trade? Why? What happened? Did it stop out and then go in the positive direction anyway? So maybe I had my stop a little too tight. Did it just blast off and go immediate profit? Like, I want to record exactly what happened throughout that trade, because what that gives me is positive information. It gives me something that I can replicate, right? Because you can't replicate what you don't recognize. Recognition is the first step of replication. So when you can recognize something and recognize it as a pattern, now I can learn how to eliminate bad habits, and I can learn how to duplicate good habits, right? But how can I do that if I don't recognize if something's good or bad? So if I see something that gets stopped out by 1 or 2 pips, and I go the course of a month of trading, and I can look back at, let's say I took 20 trades in a month and I lost 5, so I'm a 75% winner. Let's say 4 out of 5 of those trades stopped out by 1 pip and then went the right way. So I'm like, man, I could have made a lot more money, but I set my stop slightly too tight. So what that's telling me now is I need to start identifying, am I setting my stops too tight? So now I can adjust based on what I've been recording. So that's the information I record. And then I know you asked about taxes as well. So recording your profits, and of course your MT4, your broker will issue you a statement. So you know, for tax purposes, just issue your P&L from your broker to your accountant, you know, whoever's doing your taxes, and they'll take care of that. But really what they want to see is net gains, net losses. And of course, you know, taxes can be, you know, and depending on where you at, if you're in America, it's capital gains. Hopefully you have a really good accountant that knows how to you know, do stuff that'll save you money on taxes. But you want to record all that information, more so than the taxes. It's more so for the trading itself, so that you can turn negatives into positives and turn positives into more positives. All right, so I hope that answers your question. What's the next one?
What is the process to getting completely and properly set up with CoinEx?
Gotcha. All right, so he's talking about CoinEx. So on CoinEx, so let me go ahead and talk about something real quick. This is a good opportunity to talk about this. I used to rock with Traders Way, and I have for, you know, I did for a long time. And I recently had some issues with Traders Way about maybe 7 or 8 months ago. I guess it's been maybe a little longer. I started getting into a little bit of an issue with Traders Way, and I had about $500,000 in the account, and just under $500,000 in the account. And when I went to make a withdrawal, they denied the withdrawal, and I was like, man, what is happening here? And you know, of course, I have personally withdrawn over $1 million out of the Traders Way account. And so I was like, man, what is happening here? I think I was trying to withdraw 70,000, and so they said no, and I was like, man, what's good? What happened? What's going on? Well, they said, of course, you know, as you guys know, Traders Way stopped taking U.S. clients about a little over, maybe a year and a half ago. But those who were already there could stay. And so so I stayed, and you know, I've never had any issues with them. Well, anyway, we've been in an argument back and forth, and we've had some legal stuff going on with them because they have just denied giving me my money. And well, after it all settled, they basically just said, we'll give you your original money back, but we can't give you the money. Well, here's what I've come to find out about Traders Way as I've been kind of battling with them through all this, is they are running out of liquidity. And you know, JFX recently closed, same issues. And honestly, that's the risk you take when you're dealing with some of these overseas brokers. You know, same thing could happen with LQD. Same thing could happen with, you know, any of them really, IG, any of them. So what I would tell you, if you are a U.S. client, a U.S. citizen, a U.S. trader, and you don't want to use a U.S. broker, right? Because we all know the limitations that the U.S. brokers put on us. You know, the spreads are ridiculous. The The leverage is very low. The limitations on how many trades you can take and all that kind of stuff. Most of them don't trade, gold and crypto and all that kind of stuff. You just basically stick into major pairs. Some of them don't even trade cross pairs. So anyway, what I would suggest to you is to look, if you are looking for an overseas broker to be able to leverage and use lower spreads, find one that has an American office at least. IG, for an example, has an American office. CoinEx has American office. They are an overseas broker, London, but they have an office in America. So if I have a problem with IG or CoinEx, I could drive to Chicago and we could bang some heads. No, I ain't gonna really do that. But so anyway, Traders Way, honestly, man, I had some issues with them, and I'm still kind of battling with that. I'm trying to get, tell them to give me my money. So man, that's been ugly. It's been ugly. So I stopped recommending them, which they're kind of stupid because man, I had 400 people that have joined Traders Way because of my link. And so anyway, that's another thing. But CoinEx is fire, bro. Like I'm really, really liking CoinEx. I had a CoinEx account back in the day. And then I just kind of went back to Traders Way because I was used to it. And so I went back and I was like, let me check CoinEx back out. It's been some years now. Let me see what's going on. And man, CoinEx is dope. The spreads are really low. Everything's really super simple with them. And I like the fact that they have a US office. So real quick, what we're going to do is come over here. Let me log in, make sure my personal information is hidden. All right. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to log in as here we go. I'll log in guest. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. And you should be able to see CoinEx. So when you come in here, just like any of the other brokers, they have, they have their little chat at the bottom. You can select your web trader, what you're going to be using. You can do your demo and your live accounts, all that stuff. And it's actually super simple. You can do a bank transfer, deposit and withdrawal. So you can do crypto, you can do I think Cash App even or something. But I actually just did a bank transfer right from my bank into CoinEx, which I love that because of course there's a lot more protection when you're using your bank than using crypto. So you could just literally do that when you deposit right here. You could come in here and deposit, and then you just email this right here, contact at CoinEx, and you can literally just do a bank transfer to deposit or withdraw your money, which you love that. You got to love that. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to get in here, go to CoinEx. You can go in my broker or in my YouTube link. I have a link down there. Here's the cool thing I got. Let's tell you one more really cool thing about CoinEx. They had an option for the people sharing their link. So when I shared my link, I had an option. Do I want a commission on the trading and signing people up, or do I want my team, not me, my team, to have lower spreads? And I was like, ooh, let me see. So what the agreement is that as we pass 100 people, anybody within that 100 will come down all the way. We can get as low as a 0 spread. Right now, when I started my GJ, for an example, my spread was like 1.2. Last night when I was trading, last night I think it was, I was at 0.7 spread on GJ. So I was like, man, I'm pretty happy with that. Just over a half a pip. We could get all the way down even to a 0 spread. So I opted for the spread. I was like, man, y'all could keep the commissions, because with a 0 spread, man, that little pip and a half, 2 pips, whatever it might be, depending on broker you have, that could be a lot of money, So I opted for the spread. So I'm looking at, man, let's get 100 people on here and have 0 spread. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm honestly, that's pretty much it, guys. You just come in here, click the link in my description, join CoinX, get everything signed up just like every other broker. You got to put your license, your proof of address, all that kind of stuff. They verified me in like 24 hours. It was less than a day. They had me verified. Spreads are low. Bank transfer deposits, U.S. office in Chicago. I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy with them, and I'll keep you updated on whatever is going on with Traders Way as well. So hope that answers your question. What's next?
How does the process for a funded account work? What are some cautions when considering it?
Yeah, so funded account. I'll be honest with you. I had to kind of change my thought process on funded accounts. I still am not a huge fan of the funded account. It's not my top choice. If you can put your own money into your own account and trade your own money, that's the best option. However, some people just don't have it, right? If you're starting out with a $50 account, go with a funded account. In the past, when the only options really out there were some of the prop firms that were just taxing your head, man. Number one, they were keeping 90%. Like now you got like my Forex funds, for an example. And even now, I can't think, FTMO is a lot lower now too. You're keeping 70% of what you profit. And then the other thing is that the process is different. When it used to be just FTMO, you had to go through their testing, and all that stuff. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Pass the test. Go in there and show that you can trade. There's nothing wrong with that. But every stage was costing more money, and then now they've eliminated that. Now it's just one fee for the whole process. My Forex funds kind of came in and they did a really good job. They have a really good platform, a good broker. Their spreads are very competitive as well. Basically, they're telling you don't go more than 5% drawdown, right? Don't go more than 5% drawdown, and don't blow your margin. That's really the 2 rules. Don't go more than 5% drawdown and don't blow your margin. Total I think is 10% drawdown, but 5% at any one time. So if you open 2 trades, make sure that you're not in more than 5% drawdown total. And then from there, you can actually have a rapid account with my Forex funds where you don't even have to pass a test. You could just go in there and fund and trade with their money, but there's a little bit more stringent rules, right? If you go and you max that drawdown at 5%, they're shutting the account down and you lose your money, and then you have to make a certain amount of profit each month for them to keep your account active, right? And so if you go and you have to make 10% on your account, or 7%, I think it is, you got to go and you got to be consistent. You got to go on there and get your money, get your bag, get that 7% so that you can keep the account going, and you get to keep 70% of all the profit. And there's payouts every week. So honestly, my Forex funds is pretty dope. But the drawback to it is, number one, you're giving away 30. Let's look at the other side of that coin. You're giving away 30% of what you made. So that kind of stinks. But if you ain't got money, then I guess that's a good option. That's like a financing fee. If you are a swing trader that eats a lot of drawdown, that's really not for you, because you're looking to really be like no drawdown. Their biggest issue with all of these prop firms is they don't want you having drawdown. So I would say it's a good option if you don't have a lot of money, but maybe you've been studying and you can get it in. You got $1,000 or something. Well, that 1,000 put into your account to trade with, at 1%, 2% reward, you're going to be making $20, and that's good. You have to ask yourself, do the math for yourself. If that $1,000 on my Forex fund is going to give you a $100,000 account to trade with, so now, you know, that same 2% becomes $2,000. You know what I mean? Like instead of $20, well, now it's like, yeah, you could take that 30%, and I'm still way over where I would have been with my own money. But when you start to get to a place where the profit, that 70% of profit, I could have just made that with my own account anyway, then why do it? Why put the rules on yourself that you don't, answer into a prop firm when you could have just made the money yourself? So you just got to do the math for you and see, does it work? If the profit that you can make on your own money is bigger than the percentage you get to keep from what their money, then there's no sense in using a prop firm. But if you can make more money with their money and potentially grow it into something more, then man, go for it. But just make sure you're strict with your rules, because they don't play. It's automatic. It's all built in. The minute you hit that drawdown, boom, you're closed. They're not going to play games with you. I already talked to somebody who lost their account because they went into drawdown too much. Next question. Good questions, TJ.
This is Powerman 709.
Powerman 709. I think Che, they call him Che. What's good?
This will
Read it.
This will sound like a question that seems like it would have a simple answer, but how do you determine to stay in the trade longer? Example, the GJ setup you posted in the shorts, it was the evident GJ had room to go up. But if you want to catch like 50 to 100 pips off of a trade like that, what do you look for to know that there's a better percentage of it going into your direction?
Good question. So just to recap, what I don't know if you heard everything she said, but basically what it is how do you, if yes, you have a direction or you have a trade set up, but how do you make sure that you're basically not going to get faked out and that the percentages are in your favor? Well, and that's a whole big question that, to be honest with you, we won't be able to get to everything tonight. But here's what I'll tell you. It all comes down to doing your due diligence about your trade, right? You got to make sure that you do the right setup on your trade. So let me share my screen. Come back here to the charts. And so I'm looking at GJ. And so here's the thing. Let's say, for example, this trade last night, we're looking at this GJ, it comes down. I told you guys on YouTube before it ever happened that we were going to get this rejection. So here's the thing. You come here and you look that you see that you have structure, right? You see that you have structure. So now you see that there's a rejection in this area. You see prices pushing up and you're looking for that breakout. And so you look, that price is going to go. Now, how did I know that was going to happen? Well, here's the thing. Number one, let me grab my annotation. Number one, if your risk outweighs your reward, don't take the trade, right? First and foremost. So if I'm looking at this entry and my risk is like, let's say my risk is down here and my reward is here. Well, that don't even make sense. Why would I take that trade? That right there tells me that this is likely not going to happen. Number two is where is volume in the market currently? Okay, so what we have to understand when we're talking about trading percentages is that it's really not about buying and selling at this point. It's about market momentum and market sentiment. Which way is the market moving? And so if we see volume pushing in this direction and we see that it already rejected the area that used to be a support or a resistance, and now it has become a support, well, we're looking pretty good. Then we see that not only did it reject, but it rejected with an entry type candle showing us that market was going to move. So we got a pin bar at a structure level. Then we got a volume candle. Then we got our little spinner right here, which shows continuation. Then we got our breakout candle. There's really not a percentage. There, what says sell? What in there says sell? Nothing in there would tell you to sell. Everything in that sequence, you literally look at this. This is the 30-minute chart. 30 minutes, 1 hour, 90 minutes, 2 hours. For the last 2 hours on the 30-minute chart, it has been telling you to do nothing but sell, but nothing but buy. There's no indication for sell. And then you get a confirmation in the buy, for a buy. So that in and of itself tells you there's nothing that I should even be looking at when it comes to sell. Why? Because the percentage is in my favor, right? I have agreement in the market in my favor that tells me to buy. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I want to look at where I am in comparison to the previous levels. So let me get rid of this annotation and let me get another parallel channel. If this is my low, so in fact, let me do this. This will be even better. I'm going to clean this chart. Y'all going to get the class tonight. Y'all ready? Let's go to the 1 hour chart. And let's say I'm here and I'm looking for an entry. So let's just come back to here. So price is here and I want to look. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, what is my most recent high and what is my most recent low on the 1 hour chart? So I'm going to come here and I'm going to say, there's my most recent high. And I could say this, or I could say this. So I'm going to go with my most recent low right here. So unless I get to these levels, I'm not even thinking in another direction at this point. Then I have to ask myself, do I have structure that is above and below where I currently am in the market? And so I have to ask myself, boom, I have a little bit of structure right here. So support, resistance. And then I have down here, you can obviously see where this whole pullback happened. So I can come right here and I have a pullback. I have structure right there. So then I come down here to the 30-minute chart and then I can confirm that structure. So I now have a high and I have a low. So I'm not even looking at anything outside of that. Secondly, I have structure and I can confirm it on the 30-minute chart, maybe make it a little tighter. And then rather than just using a line, I can use a zone because I don't want to use lines. I want to use zones. Okay. So there we go. Now I have a high and a low. So now I have entry. And now do I ask myself, do I have something else that can help me to find an entry? Well, I can come here and I can look at my trend line, right? I can see that my trend line is right there. Boom. And so everything's looking good. So I'm like, all right, cool. I have some structure in here. Everything's looking really good. I got a really nice strong push up. I got this flaggish type pattern. It's sloppy, but it is a flag. And then I ask myself, what happens next? Well, from here, it's just a waiting game. What is the percentage? So ask yourself that. From my low to my high, from my low to my high, am I above the middle or am I below the middle? Am I above the middle or am I below the middle, right? Well, it just shows you that I just rejected the middle. So that tells you right there that the percentage is in the bias of the bulls. The percentage is in the bias of the bullish momentum. Why? Because I'm living in the top half, and in order for me to get to a percentage that would tell me to go sell, I would need to break through this golden zone and test it before I would even think about selling. I wouldn't even think about selling at that point. So because I'm above that 50% area, and because I'm already showing it wicking out at that 50% area, the percentages are in the bullish favor. So then all I got to do is just wait for the breakout of the trend line, and I'm good to go. Easy money. So I'll just let it rip, you know, boom. There it is. Why? Because I had everything in my favor. Nothing told me to sell. There was nothing indicating sell. So in regards to that trade, where were the percentages? The percentages were in the buy. Okay. So that is how, generally, to be very honest, that's how I trade almost every trade I take. I take very, very simple information. I don't, you don't see now, I have an RSI on here that I will look at sometimes when, like, for an example, if the market looks like this and I'm like, I don't know. Let me go and kind of see. All right, cool. We're above that. We're above, you know, in that area. All right, good to go. That's the only thing I might do. I have these on here. Why? Only as a confirmation, but I don't use them to throw me a trade. I don't go, all right, cool. Price is rejecting off of the 50 or the 25, or I don't do that. I don't do that at all. I might look to say, you know what? Let me just confirm that there's nothing there hidden that might throw me a fake out. And then I have the sessions. I like to use that just because sometimes I forget what time it is. Right? The other two are actually things that I'm personally building, and we'll talk about that another time. So that's how I would generally find my setups. I don't use indicators to find setups. I might use a strength indicator like an RSI to just to make sure that strength is where I think it is. And but that's it. I find my setups based on highs and lows, and then I trade with the momentum of the market. That's it. Nothing else. So that's how I would find that. That's how I would find a trade. And I hope, excuse me, that would answer your question. We got a few more minutes.
Aaron FX on Instagram.
Aaron FX on Instagram. Let's go. Let's see. Bollinger Bands.
Yeah, I've been using your Bollinger Bands and 8 out of 50 SMA.
The 8 and the 50 SMA.
But do you think market makers know?
Yeah, they know. She said, Aaron FX, shout out to you, bro. Aaron FX said that he's been using my Bollinger Band strategy. That's an old strategy. If you don't know what that is, you can go back. Actually, it's one of the very first videos I ever dropped on YouTube years ago, before I really ever desired to be a YouTuber. I actually uploaded that video because I taught it as a class for IM Academy, IML back then. And so many people were asking for that class that I said I couldn't keep emailing it to everybody. So I uploaded it to YouTube and said, here's a link, and everybody, and that's kind of how my YouTube channel launched anyway. But which that's a whole nother story for another time, but that is a cool story. Mayor Sanawani was good, bro. So to answer the question though, the Bollinger Band strategy is a very good strategy. It's a beginner strategy. I would not recommend it for somebody who has, you know, more knowledge. If you're advanced and all that, you know, there's better things out there, but it is a fire strategy. I made my first like 60 grand, little over 60 grand on that strategy. So definitely a viable strategy. Now, what it does is it allows for you to catch pullbacks on a trend. It allows you to get every pullback, and it shows you where those pullbacks are going to end. Now, you said, now, do the market makers know? Well, the market makers are not looking at Bollinger Band traders on retail, you know, level. Market makers are looking at one thing and one thing only: show me the money. That's the only thing they're looking at. In fact, so much so, I'm gonna mess your brain up here for a minute. Ready? There is no such thing as a stop hunt. Uh-oh. I think I done lost a few people now. There is no such thing as a stop hunt. They are not hunting your stop losses. Trust me, They have bigger fish to fry than wondering if so-and-so put their stop loss at such and such price. Let me go and take his $10 pip and wipe him out before I go to the, they are not hunting your stop loss. What they're doing is they are using institutional bank levels of supply and demand where business is being done. I'm not going to get into that in depth tonight because there's no time, but I have loads of material on this in TGP. I'm telling you, can I just get one TGP member, somebody? Do we talk about the way the markets move in TGP? Somebody comment and let these people know. The way we break down how the markets are being moved and what the market makers are actually doing, man, I'm telling you right now, that's what they're looking for. They are not concerned with retail traders. They are not concerned with my Bollinger Band strategy. They're not concerned with my fib levels. They are only concerned with one thing and one thing only. They are coming to the areas that they do business. They are negotiating and they are buying and they are selling. That's it. That's it. They are not hunting your stops. All right. So what is happening? Michael, Steve, Mikhail, Michael, chill, Joe. They hunting us down. Hey, look, they could come and join TGP, and then if they do that, then they'll know all the secrets. But so to answer your question, yes, the market makers know what we're doing, but it's not because of the Bollinger Band strategy. They know what we're doing because they actually like the fact that we trade with them. Do you know that retail traders make up about 5.4% of the overall trading market, of the overall Forex market? 5.4%. That's small, peanuts. If every single retail trader at every one of us at one time got into one trade in the same position, we would move the market by 5.4%. You think you're affecting the big boys? You ain't. All right. It's 5.4% is what we make up. So I say that to say, now 5.4% is very small in comparison to the other 95% or 94.6%. But 5.4% extension on top of what the institutions are doing, now they like an extra 5%. So they're not looking to stop hunt you. Let me change your narrative a little bit. They actually are in favor of your money being with them. Why? Because the extra little push that we may give might actually help them get to their price level faster. The institutions are not hunting your stops and they're concerned with your money against them. They're not looking to wipe you out, right? What they're actually looking to do is looking to just go from one level to the next. Every buyer becomes a seller and every seller becomes a buyer. That's how banks work. That's how banks move money. Go to my class in TGP and we could talk all about it. But what they actually don't care about, what they really don't argue against is if retail traders know their levels and get into positions, it actually pushes more buys. And even if it is a small percentage, if 1% is changed or if 0.5% is changed, that's 0.5% more that the banks get. So they're happy with that. Why wouldn't they? Because 0.5% for me and you might only be a few bucks, but 0.5% for them is millions of dollars. So they're not afraid of you. They want you on board. They want your money going with them. They want the momentum of your little peanuts and compared to them. So no, they're not stop hunting you. And yes, they do know what we're doing, but they don't care. They're not interested in what we're doing. The only thing they're interested in is institution levels, buying and selling, supply and demand. It's all that matters. Interest rates, inflation, it's all that matters. They just look, if interest rates go up, buyers come in because they want more money on their investment. If interest rates go down, sellers come in because they start dumping off all of because they don't want to sell. They don't want to wait until their money is losing money. That's it. Very simple. What do we got? Any more?
Yes. Carrie Phillips says, what is the best frame for Fibonacci retracement?
Hold on, let me see. What is the best?
Carrie Phillips.
time frame for Fibonacci retracement. Okay, Carrie, you said Carrie Phillips?
Yes.
Carrie Phillips was good. Shout out to you. What is the best time frame for Fibonacci retracement? Fibonacci retracement works on every time frame. The question that you're asking, it's a good question. Don't take this the wrong way. I don't mean this in a negative way, but it's not the right question. It's a good question, but it's not the right question. Fibonacci retracement works on every single time frame. Now, what we have to understand is, let me go back to the charts. Let me go back to the charts, and I'm gonna show you something. So Fibonacci retracement works on every time frame. What we have to understand, though, is that there are waves within waves. There are waves within waves. Okay. Michael said my 0.1 lot matters. Absolutely, it does. Let's get it. I want to see you grow them pennies into dollars and those dollars into bands. Let's go. So watch this. All right, so you see we got a wave here. We could take the fib top to bottom, and you can see, that's essentially what the next pullback would be. Our deep one, it would come down to the 50, reject and push up, or this would be over and it would push down. So now, what if though, because so let's say this tells me that price wants to be back in here. And just to show you, this isn't some magic line on the chart. That really all it is price always wants to be at middle. If price is high, it wants to come down. If price is low, it wants to come up. That's it, right? So think about it from a perspective of buying and selling. If price is too high, buyers don't want to buy, so price has to come down. If price is too low, sellers don't want to sell, so price has to come up. Very simple. So think about it even in the real estate market, right? It's the same way. So this is only a magic number or a magic area because what it is it's showing you 50%. It's showing you average. If from here to here, if price were here, price would be extremely low. If price were here, price would be extremely high. So price wants to be here in the middle. Very simple. So if we anticipate that price is going to try to come back down to the middle, then what we can do is we have to understand a couple of things. So here, let me do this real quick. I'm going to get the other drawing tool so that I can put this line right here. Right? So price, let's just make it black so you can see it. All right, cool. Done. Now, let's go back and let's grab that fib. Here's the thing. If we see that the fib from the previous high, let's just say that this is the 4-hour chart. Okay. So let me grab that annotation. Let's just say this is the 4-hour chart. All right. Now, if that means that the 4-hour chart is showing me a trend and that I'm anticipating on the 4-hour chart that price is going to work its way back down here. Now, if that's the case, then I have to ask myself, what else stands in my way? So I can go grab that fib, same fib I used, and I can do this from here to here, right? From the recent low to the recent high. And I can jump on there and I can say, all right, cool. I have a golden zone right here. Golden zone right there. So let me get that extra fib out of there. So now I know that before I ever get to the major zone, I have a smaller golden zone in between there. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, here's what it actually means, and this is where it's going to have to. I hope I don't get too confusing. Let me change the color on here so you can see it real good. But guess what? This wave, this extension on the 4-hour chart, if you were to open that up and look at it from a perspective of the 15-minute chart or the 30-minute chart, right? And I'll change that color so you can see it better, right? Can't see that at all. Boom, there we go. So the 15-minute would look like that. So guess what? That tells me that from there, if I were to come in here and go at the 15-minute level, I can anticipate where the 4 hours is going to go based on what the 30-minute just did. Because at this point, when this 15-minute is done, even though on the 4-hour, all I have is one extension, on the 15-minute, I have a completed wave. So I can look at that and I can say, there's a golden zone here. There's a golden zone here on the 15 or the 30 or whatever, you know, whatever chart I'm looking at. And I can say, oh, there we go. So that's the next way. That's the next place where the 4 hours is going to go. And when it does, guess what it does? It doesn't just drop, right? This is wave theory. This is wave theory. Once that happens, guess what I can do? I can come back here and I can drop my fib from here to here. And I know that, guess what? This new golden zone, because I know that this is just a pullback. This is not an extension. So this new golden zone is not an area of me to trade to. It's an entry for my extension. So now, guess what? Let me drop a line on there. And I hope I'm not messing anybody's brain up, because I don't know I don't know if you're advanced or beginner or whatever. But guess what? That line, let me make that real thick so you can see it. That line, which is the golden zone on that tiny, tiny, tiny little pullback, becomes an entry for my next extension. So now, guess what? I come here. I have a golden zone back here. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. Look how beautiful that is. My point is that golden zones, Fibonacci retracements, work on every time frame. It's just that they're applied differently. Are you looking at the overall trend? Are you looking for entries within trends? Are you looking for trends that are counter trends? I mean, are you looking for an extension to happen because a pullback just finished? There's so many applications of a Fibonacci retracement tool, and those golden zones are so powerful. Why? Because price always wants to be at average. Price always wants to be at 50. And so when price gets to 50, it has to make a decision. Well, that decision is made by the higher time frame. Once the price comes back to the 50 on the lower time frame, the higher time frame says there's more momentum on the 4 hour than there is the 30-minute or 15-minute. So I can use that golden zone average on the 15 or 30-minute to show me that the 4 hour momentum can push me past it. And now that's a beautiful entry for a high reward, low risk, great opportunity trade. Now I can keep going, but the point is you can obviously see now. There's waves within waves, and every time we get a new golden zone, a new fib level, every time we get a new opportunity. Does that make sense to you? I hope that answers your question. Carrie Phillips, that's a great question, because fibs are powerful. But my point is and I could go all night. I love wave theory, but the whole point is that if we can start to understand wave theory and understand where those fibs and where those 50% markers are, those are showing us areas of either rejection or breakout. If it breaks, then it's going to continue. It's a reversal, right? If it's a rejection, or if it's a rejection, it's a reversal. If it breaks, it's a continuation. And so that's how that would work. Carrie Phillips, great question. Let's see. We got time for one more question. We've been already going an hour and 15 minutes. We'll go one more question.
4 different ones.
Let me see. I'm gonna pick somebody who's a TGP member just to give them a. What do we got? All right, let's see. What do we got here? I'm gonna shout out all of you. Jermaine Goins. Oh yeah, that's my man right there. What's good? He said if price rejects off the golden zone, are you immediately taking the buy or the sell to the top or bottom? If not, what other confluences are you using for entry? Well, that question I just answered probably helps your question. And but here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a video on golden zone entries, and I'll drop it on YouTube. Christopher West. Let me get rid of this real quick. Christopher West. Shout out to you. Best pairs to trade pre New York session and US session. Shout out to you. Good question. GA is a good US trading pair. GU, GJ, all of those are good. Gold is good. Obviously, anything with the dollar in it, but I really don't like the dollar, so I stay away from it. I like GBP to be in my trading. I would say GA, GU, GJ. I would stay away from GN. I would stay away from Canadian dollar is good as well. The only ones I would really stay away from are the exclusively Asian pairs, not including GBP or USD. Like so NJ, I wouldn't even mess with that. CAD, JPY, don't mess with that. I would say don't mess with the Asian pairs unless they have US dollar or GBP involved in it. But the best GA and GU. GA and GU. Jason Springhart. Hey, Dapuliga Clement, another one from the Channel Club. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Glad you're here. Jason Springhart. The example you gave on breakouts and retests was awesome. This is what I need to help me put it all together. Is there any way we could do a couple live trade sessions with you a week with the minimum? What is the minimum deposit on CoinEx? I'm done even answering the question about live trade sessions. That stuff is so overrated. What ends up happening is everybody sits around and watches the guru make money and nobody makes money. What's better is for me to give you trade setups with actual notes, not just a line and for you to break out, and for me to coach you through your trading. That's what's better. That's what makes you money, not makes me money. So yes, I do some live trading. All right. I have a group that I trade with, but it's an exclusive group and it's very, very expensive, to be honest with you. I'm sorry, I'm not cheap. I'm not inexpensive, and I know it, and I'm cool with that. So if you're interested in that part of a group, if you're trying to trade with $100 account, it's not for you. It's really for people who are trying to trade with six-figure accounts and who are really ready to spend some money. I'm just being honest with you. That's who that group is for. And so we can talk about that. Feel free to email me or something, but honestly, that's for people who really got some money to put into it. As far as what's the minimum deposit on CoinEx is, I think it's $50, but man, don't do that. You want to have at least like $500 to $1,000. Truthfully, that's what you really want to do. Michael Stevens, last question. Any advice for somebody who works a 9 to 5 but wants to trade full time? Yeah, grind, man, grind. That's the that's tough. I worked 60 hours a week before I became full-time trading. I was working literally 60 hours a week trading, doing that, everything. There's going to come a point in your trading where it don't make sense to go to work anymore. When you get to a point where going to work costs you money, you should stop trading. You should stop going to work, right? It got to a point for me where every time I walked in the doors at work and I could have been trading the US session, I was losing money because I was making like, $200 a day or something like that, $250 a day. working where I was working. And I mean, I was making $2,500 on a trade. So if I would have just stayed home and traded US, I'd have been making more money. So it didn't make sense for me to go to work anymore. So that's when I was like, I'm done. So I would just tell you, man, to be honest with you, the advice I have for you is, number one, somebody's gonna lose. Let me tell you the principle of being a thief. The principle is that every one of us is a thief. Every one of us. And why? Because you have only 24 hours in a day. At some point, you have to sleep. You can try to cut out sleep, but then who are you stealing from? You're stealing from your health. You can try to, say I'm gonna work less, but they're not gonna put up with it. They're not gonna let you steal time from them. You know who ends up getting it? Your family, because they're the only ones that'll put up with it and still love you and still try to maintain while you rob them of their time. That's who I stole from for a long time. I stole from my family. I stole from her, not spending enough time, not being there, and because I was working and then coming home and planting a church and trading at night, and the time that I did give my family was garbage time. I was exhausted. I was sitting there, and I'd be sitting there on my phone working the whole time. At some point you're stealing from someone. So what you got to do is you got to prioritize, so that eventually you can get rid of the job, and then you ain't got to steal no more. I can tell you this, that the time her and I spend together now is a whole lot more quality than it was when I worked a 60-hour-a-week job. Now the time we spend together is not garbage time anymore. It's quality time. It's quality. We enjoy it, right? I guess my best advice to you is, man, you got to try to see a light at the end of the tunnel. Just keep grinding, bro. Do what you got to do, but you got to prioritize, and you need to set some goals, set some limits. Like, I'm going to do this for 2 years. Don't come in here and say I'm going to trade for 3 weeks and then it didn't work out, so I'm going to quit. That's not going to work out. But give yourself to it for 2 years. All right, I'm going to do this for 2 years. And after 2 years, my goal is that I can at least go part-time at my job, or find a part-time job. You got to have some roadmap, like a roadmap, right? You got to have some destinations in mind. You can't just go from day one to full-time. You got to have some markers in between. And so what I would say is, you want to map it out over at least 2 years. And then you want to ask yourself, have I doubled my account in the last, X amount of time, right? So if I started out with a $1,000 account, how long did it take me to get to 2,000? If I have 100,000, how long did it take me to get to 200,000? And so that will tell you what you need to replace your income. If you're making $30,000 a year at your job, you know what you got to make. If you're making 6 figures, you're making, 120,000 a year, that's a different story. So now you got to ask yourself, how long is it going to take for me to replace that income? And so you got to map that out. You don't just go from day one to full time. You got to map it out over some steps, and you got to keep your hand to the plow. You know what I mean? Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. But commit the right amount of time to it. And then, to be honest with you, here's what no other YouTuber is going to tell you, man. Real talk. Sometimes, man, you just got to stop trading. You just got to stop trading. Real talk. Sometimes you're going to be up and you're going to be ready to trade, London, but you're exhausted and you're tired. You ain't hang out with your kids in a while or whatever. You know what you need to do? Instead of taking a nap because you're about to go trade London, just say, I'm not trading tonight. I'd rather sit down and watch a movie with my kids. I need to get some sleep. I'm not trading tonight. Why? Because the more you burn yourself out, you're not giving quality to the thing. And now guess who you're becoming a thief to? You're stealing from the very thing that you want to be the thing that replaces your job. You're stealing from Forex. You're stealing from your trading. So at some point, you got to ask yourself where you're going to prioritize your time and your efforts. And then you have to do it with strategic mapping, right? And so you're not going to go full time in day one. But just be encouraged that stories like mine, stories like others that are out there that have gone from full-time working, not even knowing how to trade, to being full-time traders and educators. You can do it. You can do it. Fast track it, not to try to use this as a plug, but I will fast track it by joining up with TGP. You can learn on your own for free by using baby pips and YouTube, or you can jump on board with me and I can take you to distance. You know, you don't learn from your mistakes, learn from my mistakes. You know what I mean? I've already made enough of them. I've already made plenty of them. So why don't you learn from them? You know, so that's another thing. I won't use that for too long, but my point is, you can do this, man. You can do this. Just don't give up. You got this. You got this. So, what else? You got anything to say back here?
I felt like that last 10 minutes was like all wisdom. I felt like I was in church. I need to say amen or something. Like, amen, Pastor.
Come on now. Preach.
We'll start shouting.
So, well, thank you, Jasmine, for jumping on.
Thank you for letting me.
Abishai, thank you for snoring and sleeping throughout the whole thing. Guys, real talk though, look, hit that subscribe button. Go back and watch, man. I'm telling you, all of my content is going to help you get there. But join TGP. I can't tell you. Just ask. All you got to do is ask. Anybody in TGP, just say something. That's all I can tell you. I'm not even going to sell it to you. I'm gonna let them talk to you, because the truth is, there's no other education out there that's going to get you to where you want to be faster. There's no other videos out there, no other that's going to help you to understand. You saw, we just took a simple thing like wave theory. I'm telling you guys, I can help you get there, but I can't do it for you. So what I have to do is I have to educate you. Jump on board with TGP, tradinggetpaid.com, links in the description. Bro, $75 a month, man. You spend more than that at McDonald's, bro. You spend more than that going out to eat. You spend more than that on coffee, you know, whatever else you're spending it on. I don't know what you're spending your money on. But, you know, trust me, $75 a month investment into yourself. Invest in yourself before you invest in the markets. That's what I tell people all the time. Invest in yourself before you invest in the markets. Like I said, scroll in these comments and you'll be able to see. You will be able to see what people are saying about TGP all throughout. And again, I don't need to sell you anymore. I'm just telling you the truth is, you know what sales is all about? Here's a problem. Here's a solution. People don't buy a drill because they need a drill. People buy a drill because they need a hole in the wall. The problem is, I need a hole in the wall, and a drill is the solution. Nobody buys a drill because they need a drill. They need a hole in the wall. Okay? Well, guess what? You don't need TGP because you need TGP. You need TGP because you need to learn how to trade. And there's not a better platform out there that's going to help you learn how to trade. So that's what you're going to do, right? That's what you're going to do. There we go. Jump on board. Let's get it. Let's eat. Let's do it. Other than that, hope you enjoyed the live. Hope you enjoyed it tonight. Education over entertainment. Peace out, guys. See you later.